No mai, haere mai. Welcome to 3 News. In 4 days, the second anniversary of the October 7 Hamas attacks on Israel will be remembered. But today, as Jewish communities in Britain marked the holiest day on their calendar, 2 worshippers were killed and several others injured in Manchester in what's been declared an act of terror. Police shot the suspect dead within 7 minutes of the first emergency call. There were fears he was about to detonate a device around his waist, but it was later confirmed to be non-viable. Police say that thanks to the immediate bravery of security staff, a rabbi and worshippers inside the synagogue, as well as the fast response of emergency teams, the attacker was prevented from gaining access. Manchester police have named the suspect as 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami, a British citizen of Syrian descent. World leaders, including our own Prime Minister, have condemned the attack. The Jewish Council here has said this attack did not exist in isolation. In a statement, the Council said it reflects a broader and increasingly ambient anti-Semitism that has become normalised in many public and online spaces in New Zealand and overseas. Adam Hollingworth has more and a warning his story does contain confronting images.
The Jewish community in New Zealand is on edge after an attacker struck in Manchester on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish year. A police car was outside an Auckland synagogue complex this afternoon as security patrolled the grounds. The Jewish Council says it's concerned that some here are already seeking to justify the attack online.
People saying things like, well, this is what happens when you support Israel. That should be completely irrelevant. People should not be, people who are going worshipping on their most holy day of the year at a synagogue should not be targeted because of what is happening overseas somewhere.
This was the scene in Manchester, the terror suspect on the ground after a stabbing rampage outside a synagogue. Police believing he was wearing an explosives vest.
Everybody else, he has a bomb, go away! He's got a bomb on him!
The suspect had already driven a car at people outside, then attacked other worshippers with a knife. In these pictures, at least one victim is still lying on the ground. Fearing further casualties from the suspected bomb, police took action. This is 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami outside the mosque moments earlier. We've blurred the Jewish worshippers behind him. The son of a Syrian surgeon and a British citizen, he arrived in the country as a child.
Initially seeing a guy stood on the top of the stairs, and then as the police have approached, they've run into the gate of the synagogue, outside the vicinity though, but inside the gate. Shot him straight away.
Police say they're treating it as a terror attack, one that could have been worse.
There were a large number of worshippers attending the synagogue at the time of this attack, but thanks to the immediate bravery of security staff and the worshippers inside, as well as the fast response of the police, the attacker was prevented from gaining access.
In this picture, you can see a knife lying near the attacker's head with a suspected bomb to his right. Police made further arrests in streets nearby. 2 men in their 30s and a woman in her 60s are in custody. Rafi Bloom was one of hundreds heading to the synagogue for worship.
I had a phone call from a friend of mine to say there's been a terrorist attack at our synagogue. Stay away, make sure you call your wife and your children and grandchildren and tell them to stay away.
On this, the most holy of Jewish days, many other Jews had deliberately switched off mobile phones and digital devices. They emerged from prayer unaware of the horrors that had unfolded.
Scared, terrified, and it's making the overwhelming majority of us question whether we have a future in this country for ourselves, for our children and our grandchildren.
As security has stepped up across the UK, here the Jewish Council says anti-Semitic incidents in New Zealand are on the rise.
I think there's a constant ratcheting up of this incitement to violence, and there's a permissive atmosphere. It's being normalised. People aren't condemning it in the same way that they would condemn other incitement to violence and other targeting of other minority groups, and it just continues building on itself.
The good news is that in New Zealand we haven't seen the domestic tensions that we've seen in other countries around the world, and I think that's in part a testament to the 2 communities and other communities that have actually worked in a very good way together.
In coming days, the Prime Minister will be hoping his take is right.